talking about you never know. That's like the theme of my talk today. And I wanted to share a story that I heard yesterday on PBS, I don't know what it was, on the radio. And here it is. Tom Bodette was sued by a woman because she went to Motel 6 and her room light was off, and she tripped and fell and broke a bunch of stuff. So she sued Tom Bodette because he didn't leave the light on for her. Now that's a true story, and the judge ruled in her favor. So he now is going to have to include a disclaimer. We'll leave the light on for you, but illumination in various rooms will vary, and proceed at your own discretion. Something to that effect. Oh my goodness. So you never know. Poor Tom Bodette had no idea that when he came up with this clever little advertising saying that somebody would sue him. You just never know. There's a story that I also want to share, and this man got on a bus in the city with 3 children, and the children were out of order. They were swinging from the bars, and they were laughing and making a big ruckus, and the man was just sitting and staring into space. And someone said to him, your children are very disruptive. You really should get them under control. And the man said, yes, I should do that. He said, their mother just died. And we're all just a little off center. So when I say to you, you never know, we never know what is up with people and what their particular point of view may happen to be. Don Miguel Ruiz, in his 4 agreements, the 3rd agreement is never make assumptions. And so that really is the whole idea about you never know. We make assumptions about other people and about how we think they should behave, what we think they should look like, what we believe is the right thing. But we never know. Last week, I was at Trader Joe's, and this woman came up beside of me, and I thought I knew her. She looked like somebody I knew, and I said to her, "Oh, well, hello, how are you?" And she said, "Well, I'm not well. Do you have any money that you could share with me?" I was astonished because she didn't fit my prototype of what someone who's asking for money should look like. She was a little bit younger than me. She was very well dressed. She had on a cotton blouse that had been perfectly ironed, nice looking pants, sunglasses that were much more expensive than mine. I was so befuddled. I just went to my purse and handed her out money. And as I was doing that, she was saying to me, this is so embarrassing. I'm just humiliated to be in this position, as old as I am, to find myself without resources. I was stunned. And because I was so stunned, I missed my opportunity. I thought, as I was driving away, I really wish that I had invited her to go get a sandwich or have a cup of tea or a glass of iced tea with me, and I could know what her story was. But I didn't get that done. I have had assumptions of what people who panhandle should look like and how they should behave. And she didn't fit into my prototype at all. She was not what I had expected. I made different assumptions about panhandlers. There's a line that I love that I'm going to share with you. It's Rochelle Goodrich said, "While you judge me by my outward appearance, I am silently doing the same for you. Even though there's a 95% chance of both of our assumptions being wrong." So we see people through our own filter, through our own belief system of what we think should be. We have life filters. We have expectations of people to behave in a way that is acceptable to us. One prime example, I think, is many Native American people have been raised to not make eye contact. It's rude in many Native American cultures to not meet your eye. And Caucasians have a cultural belief system that if people don't meet your eye, if they don't look in your eye, then there's something wrong, and maybe you're shifty. Maybe you have something to hide. So these two cultural belief systems are at conflict. Who's right? Who's wrong? It's not either an issue of right or wrong. We make assumptions that other cultures have and share the same values that we do. And it's seldom the case. And yet, we believe this to be true. Cultural differences between geographical areas. In New York, you walk and you pay attention and you mind your own business. In the South, when you pass somebody on the street, you say, "Hi, how are you?" You wave at folks driving past. If you do that in the Northeast, they think you're nuts. It's cultural differences, and we make assumptions that folks believe the way we believe, that folks see the world the way we see the world. And the truth of the matter is, we only see the world in the way we see the world. Look at all of you. I'm giving a talk, and each one of you is hearing my talk in a different way, processing what I have to say in a different way, hearing a different message from what I'm speaking. I'm often astonished when people say to me, "Oh, I really loved it when you said blah, blah, blah." I haven't said that. But folks heard it because everybody fills in the dots the way they want to fill in the dots.
What they need.
Beg your pardon?
What they needed to hear.
That's it. That's it. Exactly. So here's another story I want to share. Probably cry about this one too. Just saying. A doctor went into a hospital surgery room in a great big hurry. And he answered the call for emergency surgery as soon as he could, and he changed his clothes and he went directly to the surgery block. And he found a boy's father pacing up and down the hall, waiting for him. On seeing the doctor, the father yelled, "Why did you take so long to come? Don't you know my son's life is in danger? Don't you have any sense of responsibility? And the doctor said, I'm sorry. I wasn't in the hospital when I came, but I came as fast as I could after I received the call. I wish you'd calm down so I can get to work. And the man said, calm down. What if your son was in the room right now? Would you calm down? If your own son dies while waiting for a doctor, then what would you do? The father angrily asked. The doctor smiled and replied, we'll do our best by God's grace, and you should pray for your son's life now. Giving advice when we're not concerned is so easy, the father muttered. The surgery took some hours, and the doctor went out. Thank goodness your son's life is saved, he said to the man. And without waiting for the father's reply, he carried on his way, running by saying, if you have any questions, ask the nurse. Why is he so arrogant? The man asked. He couldn't wait for a few minutes and tell me what my son's state is. And the nurse replied, wait for it. His son died yesterday in a car accident. He was preparing for his funeral services when he got the call from you. Now he's rushing off to bury his son. We make assumptions about people. We have a tendency to see people in a one-dimensional way. We see doctors as doctors only. We see nurses as nurses only. We see policemen as policemen only. We see firemen as firemen only. And we forget the totality of their lives. Everyone is three or multi-dimensional. They have multifacets in their lives. But we have a tendency to only see one portion. I see you here on Sunday. You see me here on Sunday. There's, 6 more days left in our lives that we live that's rich and full and multi-dimensional. But yet we see limited. We make assumptions. Don Miguel Ruiz says this about making assumptions and not making assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. He says that if you only use that one aspect of the 4 agreements, if you only use that 3rd agreement, your life will change dramatically. When we begin to see people as full, rich people with their own belief systems and their own assumptions, their own values and their own ideas, and not judge them negatively, not judge them through our own filter, but ask questions. See them fully and richly, and value their values, value their point of belief. What you think is what you get. And if you see people from a judgmental, critical point of view, that's what comes back to you. That's what's returned to you, judgment and criticism. We are all expressions of the divine. We are all living our life as fully and richly as we can at any given point of time. The other agreements are, help me out now.
Be impeccable.
Be impeccable with your word.
Take nothing personally.
Take nothing personally.
Don't gossip.
Don't make assumptions.
Don't make
That's what
assumptions.
it is.
Always do your best.
Always do.
Always do your best. Absolutely. Thanks for your help. So, Marshall McLuhan, who was the media guru, said this, and I'm going to close with this quote. Most of our assumptions have outlived their uselessness.
True.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means, but I like it. So, I want to ask you before I conclude, how many of you used the golden rule this week? Good. Yeah? So, after we have our next song, then I'll invite you to give me some feedback about that. So, the 4 agreements are wonderful tools for life. The golden key is a wonderful, perfectly wonderful tool for life. These principles that we practice in this community allow us to live richly and fully. Allow us to live with an open heart, without judgment, without criticism. I love you all, just the way that you are, and just the way that you are not. Namaste. So I would invite Reverend Aaron and the practitioners to join with me as we say our final prayer. So I invite you to turn within. And acknowledge that each one present in this place, this planet, are unique expressions of the divine. Each one of us lives our life through our own unique experience and through our own unique filter of godness. I know that the divine, that creative mind, that creative source, that essence holds no judgments, holds no assumptions about the way we live. Judgment and criticism are all inside jobs. The divine loves each one of us richly and fully, just the way that we are. There's nothing we must do, there's no action that we must take to be loved by that one. So at this moment, I align myself with the sweet, totally accepting, supportive essence of all that is. I align myself with health and vigor and vitality, with joy and peace and harmony, with abundance, with generosity, with love, because that is my divine heritage. know that for myself. I assume it for each one of you. I accept good, peace, love, and unique expression, creativity in every aspect of life for each of us, for the other 7.5 billion people in this world, for all the living creatures. Because it's all alive. The trees and the plants and the rocks and the minerals are living expressions of spirit. And it's all good and it's all in harmony. I celebrate that. I am filled with gratitude for it all. And I declare it so. I invite you to join with me as we say, and so it is.